Good morning, guys. We are here today. It is Thursday. We've had multiple different reports of ships that were hit in the last... guys. We are here today. It is Thursday. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that echo. That rudely placed echo. But we have had multiple ships get hit in the last 24 hours in or around Hormuz and Iraqi waters. So UK and US maritime trackers reported at least 3 vessels struck by projectiles near the Strait of Hormuz, adding to the earlier hits like the tag flagged vessel that we heard about yesterday. We had separate late night attacks in Iraqi waters that left at least 2 fuel tankers burning, Safe Sea Vishnu and Zephyros, I hope I pronounced that correctly, with port officials blaming suspected Iranian armed boats and drone boats and sea mines. So again, over the last day, Iran-linked forces hit multiple ships near Hormuz in Iraqi waters. Fuel tanks were literally burning. And so oil now, if we take a look at oil this morning, oil currently is sitting very close to $100 a barrel, especially if we're talking about Brent crude. WTI West Texas Intermediate crude got up to almost $96 this morning. So almost $96. And yeah, oil's elevated today ahead of jobless claims. We do have the jobless claims report going live at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll see what that looks like after last week's really weak jobs report. And yeah, what do you guys see this morning here? Let me get my doc set up. Hold on. Let me make sure this is working. Good morning, champ. Hey, what's up, Fonz? Hey, it's so good you had to say it twice. It's Thursday. It is Thursday. Tomorrow we have PCE inflation and GDP data. So we'll see what that looks like as well. But a lot of stuff going on. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, what's up, Jason? Good morning, my friend. Yeah, we have this doc here. Let's get it up. Let's delete this one. Add a new one. And get that up and rolling here. Oh, I gotta pop out the chat. That's what I did wrong. Yeah, I added this this pop out here. That there we go. I added this pop out, so if anytime I want to. Yeah, Pawn says it's kind of red all over the place. Hey, what's up, Steve? Yeah, so anytime I want to, I can transition to this full screen here. And yeah, so I added this. And yeah, let me know what you guys think today. Oil. Will oil break $100 a barrel today? I think is the big question. That's what I'm going to do on the poll initially. What's up, Rick, Matthew, Steve, Dominator, Jason, Fonz, Cash, Lynn, Mo, Yee, Glass, Brian, Hack, Mr. VA, Keegan. What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning, Richard. Yeah. Yeah, taking a look at things here. Look at oil. NASDAQ is slightly red on the day. If we take a look at the slightly red. We do have jobless claims. Again, last week's job report was weak. So last week's job report was not good. Very weak. And we got more news about Strait of Hormuz, ships getting attacked. To go back to the recent one, we had separate last night attacks in Iraqi waters, left at least 2 fuel tankers burning, with port officials blaming suspected Iranian armed boats and drone boats. So, Iran-linked forces hit multiple ships near Hormuz and Iraqi waters. So, did I sell my Oracle? No, I did not. Is it down? No. Yeah, no, I didn't sell it. I'm still in it. I mean, it's down a little bit, but not that much. It could be worse for Oracle here. This one candle kind of throws everything off. Let me see if I can get rid of this. Correct this bar. We're just removing that bar. There we go. Now it's better. Yeah. So Oracle 162s. What's up, Smart Film? What's up, my friend? Yeah, jobless claims, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are going to get a timer up for that as we get closer to it. But yeah, the big story of the day here, guys. Multiple ships hit in the last 24 hours near Hormuz. Brent is up to $96 a barrel, which is, again, Iran-driven supply risks. But we are talking about record reserve releases. And so they are talking about releasing 400 million barrels of reserves, which could dip oil back down. But the IEA did come out saying the conflict is disrupting about 7.5% of global supply. And it's effectively cut Gulf production by 8 to 10 million barrels per day as Hormuz flows have fallen over 90%. It calls it the largest oil market disruption ever, according to the IEA. Again, they call this the largest oil market disruption ever. But again, they did agree to release 400 million barrels. So IEA members did agree to release 400 million barrels of emergency reserves. Brent jumped over 95s, close to 100. I think it went over 100 for a little while as well. And you can see regular oil here. WTI crude, I mean, is at 91s, 92s almost. Exit out of that one. I got too many chats here. There we go. There's the other chat. What's up, Jay? What's up, Smart Film? Beerls? Yeah, Bitcoin is actually doing okay this morning. I looked at Bitcoin already. Bitcoin's doing all right. It's not the worst it could be for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's over 70. I think it's at like 70.5 thousand if I remember correctly for Bitcoin, so that's good. So we did get news that the EU spokesperson says that we can only reiterate that the U.S. fully honors its EU-U.S. trade deal. Again, EU commissioner says we can only reiterate that the U.S. fully honors the EU-U.S. trade deal. India has also asked China to allow the sale of some area cargoes as the war in the Middle East curtails the nation's gas supplies. The Indian energy minister said refineries are working at high capacity utilization. Domestic diesel and petrol is availability is secure, they say. We also had this news drop earlier that NVIDIA and Palantir are working on to deliver sovereign AI operating system reference architecture. So we did get this news on screen. Palantir and NVIDIA. Here's NVIDIA stock. NVIDIA's almost green on the day. This is kind of looking like the NASDAQ, though. The NASDAQ opened red and then kind of retraced back up, and now it's starting to fight its way back up. So NVIDIA is at 185s as I say this. 185.30s for NVIDIA. Palantir still over 150s, holding the defense premium that it is from the conflict going on. It's boosting Palantir price. So Palantir is up. Let's get it from Blank Flag. What's up, Wow? Hey, thank you, friend. Thank you, my friend. I'm sorry, I don't know what flag that is. It looks like a Nordic country flag, no? But I might be just wildly off. Is that the Netherlands? Let me see if I don't, maybe not. No, the Netherlands is the same color. Is that the Netherlands? I don't know. It looks Dominican Republic. Okay, I was way off, my friend. But I'm a big baseball fan, so respect to the Dominican Republic, Anyways, guys, yeah. Let me know what you're interested in seeing today. It's the same colors as the Netherlands flag, but just different. Hey, what's up, Gene? GE Aerospace and Palantir expand a multi-year partnership to deploy agentic AI for Air Force readiness and GE production operations. Other news that I'm seeing right now. And yeah, we are here today. I also got news about 20 minutes ago that Qatar intercepted a missile attack targeting the state of Qatar. So again, Qatar did intercept another missile attack. The EU Commissioner spokesperson says we have not received any indication that the U.S. intends to deviate from the trade deal commitments. So we are getting that news as well this morning. The IDF said they struck two out of three of Iran's ballistic missile launchers as well. So more oil premiums maybe here, but here's oil. We're definitely watching oil today. It's at 92s right now, 92s. Yeah, Tesla chart. There's a lot of things coming out over the next week. I'm just going to talk about this. All right, so there's a lot of things coming out over the next week. I'm going to use my full screen, cool little, thing. So a couple things to talk about over the next week. One, next week we have the FOMC decision. The FOMC decision happens next week on Wednesday. Now, we're probably going to pause, but I do believe we get another dot plot update in this meeting. And so we're almost certainly going to pause rates. Jerome Powell's sentiment during the press conference is going to be relevant. Not just that, but we're also going to get a dot plot and summary of economic projections. So we're going to get economic outlook as well during this FOMC meeting. And so it's going to have a little bit more weight than just a normal, really expected outcome meeting. That's number one next week. Number two, we have PPI inflation next week as well. We have PCE inflation this Friday. We have the JOLTS job report this Friday. The other big thing that we have going on next week is we have NVIDIA's GTC conference and keynote. The keynote speech for NVIDIA's GTC conference, which does move markets, is going to be on Monday. I believe it's at 1 p.m. Eastern time, but I might be off. I think it's at either 12 or 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday next week. So that could move markets as well. And again, going back into it, today we have jobless claims unemployment live at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, ahead of all the stuff tomorrow and Monday and Wednesday next week. So that is what's on the books for this for the next 7 days here. And yeah, we'll see what we get today, guys. We'll see what we get. Let me go back to this. Tesla at 408. It's kind of volatile lately here, but down net over the last couple months. Since December, it's down from 500 down to basically 400. So it's down like 20% since December for Tesla. We'll see what happens. They're getting involved more with AI versus cars and EVs. And so I've said it once, I'll say it again. I think there's a bigger reward if they execute it correctly. But if they don't, there's more risk, of course. And so we'll see what happens. Hey, what's up, Jen? What's up, Kato? Beginner here. If jobless claims are higher, will that push Bitcoin down? I don't know. Jobless claims being higher means more people filing for unemployment, means weaker jobs. So higher jobless claims is weaker jobs. It means more people filing for unemployment week to week, right? So a higher jobless claims print means weaker jobs. Now, whether Bitcoin reacts positively or negatively to that is a different argument. Bitcoin can move in a macro way with markets, right? So Bitcoin is probably going to move whichever way the markets move, but it's not 100%. Today, jobless claims are expected at 214,000. We also have trade balance data for January coming out today. Housing starts, building permits, and more dropping right around the same time. So we got some stuff coming out at 8:30 today. But jobless claims expected 214 versus 213 last week. That's in the thousands, 214K for initial claims. Continuing claims expected. Where is continuing claims? Are they way up there? Yeah, continuing claims expected at 1.85 million, which is a slight contraction from the previous week. So, what's up, Jono? No, you can hear me, right? You can hear me. Video feed is off from the sound. No, it's not. What's up, Big Slum? Is this true? Keegan says the government hired Palantir. Keegan says the government hired Palantir to investigate insider trading on Polymarket. Is this true? I'm sure there's a lot of insider trading right now on Polymarket, realistically. Like, I'm sure insider trading is rampant on Polymarket. You know. But if they're getting into Polymarket, what about crypto? You know? I'm not asking if there's insider trading on Polymarket. I think that's really self-evident. Of course there is. The bigger question is the government investigating. Yes, so Polymarket is facing intense scrutiny and potential investigations regarding insider trading, particularly following suspicious Yeah, this is kind of an AI summary of the news here. Yeah, so look, I'm reading this right here. Polymarket is facing intense scrutiny and potential investigation regarding insider trading, particularly following suspiciously timed high-profit bets on geopolitical events, including U.S. strikes on Iran in early 26 and apprehension of Nicolas Maduro. Anonymous traders netted mass profits such as $553,000 on the strike and $400K on Maduro capture, leading to allegations that individuals with non-public classified information were using the platform to profit from war and foreign policy moves. Following these incidents, U.S. Senator Chris Murphy called for investigations into another corruption scandal he called and plans to introduce legislation to ban such betting. Richie Torres is also examining the situation. CFTC jurisdiction, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which regulates Polymarket as a designated contract market, has affirmed that it has the authority to police illegal trading practices, including insider trading, as of an advisory released on February 25th. Previous administration had previously probed Polymarket, but the current one dropped federal investigations in July last year. So, yeah, that's interesting to see what happens here. And speaking of Polymarket, I think these odds swing a lot. One of the things I do well, and I try not to brag on this stream, because anytime I say anything that could even slightly be interpreted as braggish, somebody's like, bro, somebody attacks me. I feel attacked, is what I'm saying. So I'm not even going to say it, but I can sometimes be good at predicting economic outcomes. And so I've thought about using Polymarket a lot. I really have. I've thought about using Polymarket a lot. Specifically to like bet on rate decisions. I think that's the easiest money in the market right now. I think rate decisions are incredibly easy to predict. Again, next week we're going to pause rates. Super easy. I don't even think it's close. Let's see what the odds. I'm sure it's not giving me great odds for that. Let me see. March FOMC. They do have one regarding, will Moran dissent the next FOMC decision? Look at this one. So will Stephen Moran dissent the next Fed decision? Basically, will he vote for a cut even though the outcome is going to be a pause? There's a 96% chance Moran does. A 96% chance. I don't see this next meeting. I think the odds are too stacked against the cut in this next meeting here. But yeah, Polymarket just got opened up here in the United States. It was Kalshi was the leading one. Let me check Kalshi. What is this music, dude? I don't even know what this music is, bro. Okay, I gotta change that. Yeah, so here's Kalshi. Sports, culture, climate, economics. Yeah, it's 99 to 1% likely of a pause. But the odds aren't good. 72% chance we get more tech layoffs this year than last year. Gas prices this week, will they continue to rise? CPI in March above 3.1%. This is the interesting one right now. Like, what's the year-over-year headline CPI for March? There is a 50% chance it's over 3.1% and a 57% chance it's over 3%. Honestly, the over 3% one seems kind of tempting to me right now. Do you guys think headline CPI year over year for this month, which comes out in April, will be over 3% year over year? I think so. I think it probably will, but who knows? It might not. Hey, yeah, y'all hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button, guys. We appreciate it. Jobless claims, unemployment filings, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time today. Most likely, agreed. Most likely, probably. I'm not an investment professional, though, guys. Just to clarify here. We are not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment, trade smart, understand all this stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. This is not investment advice. I am not liable if you lose money. Make your own assessment, trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. Do not copy me. Let's see what oil does, though. WTI crude up to 91.30s right now for WTI crude. So let's see if it holds here. Let's see if it holds. I think the market won't react to high inflation next month because it's temporary and we're baking it in. We'll see. We'll see, man. Oil will not surge more than $100. Crash is incoming. Call in the longs. Maybe, my friend, maybe. We had CPI inflation data yesterday. Came in flat as expected. Predicted it right. Again. I told you guys you'll never hear the end of it. All right, so again, we have energy stocks are back in focus after yesterday, after talks of reserves being released and the war nearly over. It's given way to this is the biggest and longer. This is bigger and longer than we hoped for. Sentiment has kind of switched back to that. Oil elevated. We did have news of multiple attacks in Iraqi waters, 2 fuel tanks burning, with port officials blaming suspected Iranian armed boats and drone boats and sea miners. So over the last day, Iran-linked forces hit multiple ships near the Strait of Hormuz and in Iraqi waters. This is why oil is up today like it is. You can see it. Up to 91s, green on the day. Again. Yeah, 20% of oil markets are out of action for 6 months. Yeah, it's going to have longer lasting effects for sure. I'm assuming you mean Hormuz is 20% of the global oil production. Yeah, I'm assuming you mean Hormuz. Short on oil, I think the setup for a crash is there. The question is the market being up intentionally to trap as many bulls as possible. Will oil correct over the next 2 weeks, chat? Will oil correct? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Will oil correct over the next few weeks? No? Here, did I do a poll yet today? I don't think I did. This is a good question. We're going to do a poll right now. Over the next 2 weeks, do oil prices move up or down? This is going to be the question. The poll is now live. You can vote on that poll. Over the next 2 weeks, do oil prices go up or down? Vote on the poll. Oil should climb more. I see somebody says both. Depends on what the president says. 25% correction to the downside. Yeah. Again, we'll see. I think it depends on what we hear, to be honest. It depends on what we hear. Oil will go up dramatically. Oil short from 98. Oil to the moon. Oil gets manipulated. Over the next 2 weeks, oil prices will go up and down. I guarantee it. That's a crazy thought. A crazy thought. I think it holds 90s. Maybe some dips to 85. Yeah, we got news a few days ago by one of the Iran leaders. And he basically said not a single liter of U.S. oil will get through the Strait of Hormuz. Don't be surprised if oil goes... And I'm paraphrasing here, but don't be surprised if oil goes to $150 or $200 a barrel, he might have said. So, yeah. I like mac and cheese. Goes up for sure. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Looking at the SPY here, here's the S&P, here's the E-mini. The S&P E-mini starting to climb back up. It might try to go green on the day if you look at it. Here's the previous closing price, and we're going to take a look at some levels here. But there's the previous close, 67.69 right now is the red to green move on the S&P 500 futures contract, the ES. It's trying to get higher here. Let's talk about some levels here. I think the low of the day today is relevant, 67.05. Low of the day, we can call it 6,700 maybe as well. But I think 67.05, low of the day, makes sense to pay attention to. If we look at this top, I think 7,000 above us, if we're talking about longer term levels, 7K above us, which we're a long way from, is kind of the big line in the sand area I'm looking at. But I think the 68.50, which is the high of the last 2 days, 68.50 right here, is a relevant level to watch as well. And so I'm looking at 68.50. I think 68.50 on the S&P makes sense to pay attention to. 6,700s below us. And then I'm also looking at this previous closing price at 67.70 here. And so just to reiterate that, we're looking at this level here, 66.50. Which is the low of today. If we keep breaking down, this level here is probably important as well on a longer term perspective. The low of the last, I don't know how long. But yeah, we're looking at 67.05. We're looking at 67.70, and we're looking at 68.50 on the S&P E-mini. We'll see what we get here. On the NASDAQ, we can kind of look at similar levels, and I think the levels are going to be similar enough. But 25K, let me clear some of these levels out. We're looking at 25,000 above us. 25,000, big psychological whole dollar number here. The 25K makes sense to pay attention to. The previous closing price is just under that at 24,945s, and we're getting very close to that. So the S&P could go, or the NASDAQ could go green on the day as well. The low on the NASDAQ is 24,700s today. So the NQ low is 24,7s. If we keep scrolling back here, you can kind of see the similar levels. This isolated low right here at 24,000 makes sense. And then the high of the last few weeks up here, 25.5 basically is what we're going to call it, 25.5 up there. But let's see if we can get over some of these highs as well at 25,200s on the NASDAQ. But it's trying to go green on the day. It's starting to creep back up here. It's getting really close. The previous closing price again at 24,945 on the NASDAQ is what we're looking at. To pivot to gold here, here's gold. Gold is slightly green on the day. It's still right around 5,200s. A little bit below it right now, but it's been pretty sideways, I would say, since, when was the last time it really started moving? Since the beginning of March. Since March 3rd, March 2nd, gold's been pretty sideways. Hasn't really moved a lot since then. Same thing with silver, I think, but silver has started to creep up and put in a little bit higher lows. $84 low on silver makes sense to watch. $90 above us makes sense to watch, I think. So we're watching gold and silver today as well. But yeah, they've been in a kind of a sideways range. Now let's take a look and pivot to crypto here. Bitcoin sitting over 75 here, 70.5K. I mean, here's Bitcoin right here, over 70.5 thousand. Starting to creep up. It's at 70.75 thousand here, 70.75. Making some movements here, continuing to push. Will it break over 71,000 today and start heading towards like 75K? 40% of the world's oil usually passes through the Strait. Okay, so yeah, U.S. Energy Secretary Wright says release of U.S. oil will be in swaps, oil market tightness, mostly in Asia. Yeah, the news is still a little light here, but Wright reiterates Iran operations are going to take weeks, not months. And so this might influence oil prices some here. Let's take a look at oil. I did get news again. Wright reiterated that Iran operations will take weeks, not months. So this news just came out. I'll put this up. But yeah. Let me reduce the size of this. Wright says Navy escorts will happen relatively soon. Hormuz tanker escorts likely by the end of this month, is what Wright says. Just to show you guys some of this news. Hormuz tanker exports will likely be by the end of this month. This conflict's going to take weeks, not months. He said 172 million barrels released in return for 200 million back within a year. He said Navy escorts can't happen now, but they will happen relatively soon. Issue of oil is in Asia and refineries in Asia. So yeah, right. Basically saying this is not going to last. This conflict is not going to last a long time. That we will be escorting ships. The Navy will be escorting ships relatively soon by the end of the month. He thinks can't happen now. He says, but by the end of this month. This conflict is gonna take weeks, not months, he says. And yeah. We'll see if he's right, is the question. You know, is he correct? I don't know. I hope this conflict only lasts 4 to 8 weeks, but it could get dragged on a lot longer, of course. So here's Nvidia, chat Nvidia at 185s today. Apple slightly green on the day at 260s. Amazon at 212s. Went up to 217s for Amazon. Microsoft 403s. Netflix 94s. Alphabet at 307s. So most things are slightly red on the day. Slightly red ahead of jobless claims. Three-month war. Years? I hope not. Remember what Donald Rumsfeld said about Iraq? They said it would only last 6 weeks. Ended up being 15 years. Yeah, Gary says the SPR release is only to offset the 1 million BBL day USA gets through the Strait, 5% of US daily use. That's still significant, but Polymarket currently shows traders a 47.5% chance that the Strait of Hormuz traffic will return to normal by April 30th, 2026. No slightly favored at 52.5. Yeah, oil on Wright's comments here is moving up a little bit right now. Look at oil. So it's back up to 92.20s. So oil is back up some on these quotes by Energy Secretary Wright. So yeah, Wright did reiterate that this would take weeks, not months. Hey, what's up, Eva? Good morning. Let me look at our poll. So we did a poll today. We asked people, over the next 2 weeks, do oil prices move up or down? 64% say up, 36% say down. So over the next 2 weeks, do oil prices go up or down? 64% think they go up over the next 2 weeks. And oil's moving up right now on some of Wright's comments. But we'll see if it holds. Jobless claims job report expected at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We also have import-export data going live. Building permits, housing starts going live simultaneously with the jobs report. So we have trade deficit data, housing start data, building permit data, and jobless claims at 8:30. You can see a list of this report here. This definitely won't be weeks. Yeah, 3-month war maybe. Jobless claims expected at around 215. Trade deficit data expected at 67 billion. Previously it was 70 billion, so or negative 67 billion. Which is getting a little bit better, which means that we're exporting a little bit more than we were previously. So we'll see. Oil still pushing here back over the volume weighted average price for a little while on oil. Oil still trying to creep up. We have $93 here, $93 for oil that we're watching over the previous high that we put in at about 4 a.m. this morning. So we'll see if we can get back over 93 here. We're at 92.60s right now on oil. Yeah, let me get a timer up. My bad here. Let me get that up. I'm going to start doing this every single day, though, in the chat. Every single day, I'm going to ask the chat this. And I can use it in my new full screen here. And so, where are you guys from today? Where are you guys coming from today? Honestly, I like to see it. I like to see it. Where are you guys from? Cheers to you guys. I hope you guys are having a great morning. We have jobless claims numbers coming out in about 37 minutes. Tennessee, Seoul, India, Singapore, Boston. Yeah, we got some cool. Guten Tag. Florida, Colorado, Toronto, Michigan, Australia, New Jersey, Houston, New York City, South Carolina, SoCal, DC, EU, the moon. Is Dogecoin there? Is GameStop there? Let me know. I'm waiting to see. Ottawa, Nevada, Dallas, Michigan, Manitoba, California, Netherlands. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Again, I have my crawfish mug today, so cheers to you. Drinking my coffee this morning. But New Orleans. What's up, chef? All right. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. 92.50s right now on oil prices here. Let me get my timer up. Hold on. Yeah, yesterday we had CPI 830. Today we have jobless claims. I almost heard jobless clams. Let's see what we get. How much time we have left? Honestly, the timer where it's at now almost worked. It's 38 minutes. We have about 35. Almost worked. All right, but yeah, about 35 minutes left. There we go. Is that right? How much time did we... It's pretty close to being accurate. I might have to adjust this by like a minute and a half here. Hold on. There we go. I know, those lazy clams, bro. Those lazy clams. Montreal, Canada. Hey, what's up, my friend? Good morning, Vincent. Chicago. Indianapolis, Nova Scotia, Staten Island, Houston, Texas. Hey, me as well, brother. Me as well. Market cap traders. Is that an open claw mug? No, dude. It's a. My mug this morning says, "Got a little Cajun in my soul, Louisiana." I don't know who gave me this mug. I can't remember. But yeah. Oil still pushing here at 92.60s this morning. 92.60s. U.S. Energy Secretary Wright says they are releasing 172 million SPR barrels in swaps for over 200 million BBL per year. So again, U.S. Energy Secretary Wright says they are releasing 172 million reserve releases barrels in swaps for over 200 million BBLs a year. Bitcoin is now pulling back. It went up to 70.8 or so this morning. 70.8 is now dipped all the way back down. I can respect Ontario, Canada. I like Ontario. I've lived in Ontario, is why I like Ontario. Yeah, BBL just means barrels of oil. Sorry. Any data today? Yes. There's a big timer on the screen in bright neon green words. It also might be in the title of the stream today, friend. But yes, there is data today. Jobless claims unemployment filings live at 8:30. It's not huge data. Oil's pushing up after Energy Secretary Wright did say that we would be escorting ships, but we can't right now, basically, is what he said. Wright says U.S. is going to work with other nations to return Hormuz traffic. But he did say U.S. is not ready to escort tankers through the strait yet. By the end of this month, he thinks. But that the U.S. is essentially not ready to escort ships. He thinks Navy escorts will happen relatively soon, though, likely by the end of the month. But that the U.S. is not ready to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz right now. Because of everything going on right now. And again, this is after we had conflict news over the last few hours here. We had late night attacks in Iraqi waters that left at least 2 fuel tankers burning, with port officials blaming Iranian armed boats and more. So fresh real-time risk premium to crude oil is what we're watching this morning. NASDAQ slightly red, although it is starting to push. And it kind of corrected back down. It almost went green on the day on the NQ, but it's been falling back down the last 10 minutes as oil's been rising after Energy Secretary Wright started commenting on this oil. He said, no discussion of refined product export ban. We're in the midst of a significant short-term disruption. And other analysts are calling this the largest oil disruption ever. Energy Secretary Wright said short-term disruption is needed for long-term energy security, he says. He says U.S. is going to work with other nations to return Hormuz traffic. This is not good news, John. Yeah, I don't necessarily think you can see how it's affecting things, right? So NASDAQ's dipping down on these comments. Oil has been pushing higher on these comments, just to show you guys how the market is digesting this news. Oil up, NASDAQ down on these comments. So Wright said no discussion of refined product export bans. See what jobless claim shows today. Escort some ships. What are y'all waiting for? I mean, it's not. I wish it was that easy, I'm sure, but it's not. They're waiting for things to calm down a little bit, I think. Probably. Oil's still popping, though. Do jobless claims come in higher or lower today, guys? Let me know in chat right now. Do jobless claims show up higher or lower? Well, it's good news for oil prices. If you want oil to go up, that is. Let's take a look at yields today, guys. I don't think I looked at yields yet. A little bit late on this one. But yields are elevated still. 4.2%. 4.2%. This was after it dipped, you know, at the end of last month. Yields started coming down some here on high PPI inflation data and more. But looking at yields here, they are elevated right now. They're over 4.2% again. Yesterday, they were at about 4.15%. They're up to over 4.2% this morning on yields. Boosted about worrying inflation is what this is from the oil prices that we're seeing right now. The gas prices are going to be reflecting that. We did just get recent news that number one is that Microsoft and Meta are adding add to 700 billion surge in data center leases. So Microsoft and Meta add to the 700 billion surge in data center leases is what we're seeing. We did have Wright also saying $200 a barrel is unlikely. $200 a barrel is unlikely, according to U.S. Energy Secretary right here this morning. Will oil see $200 a barrel? So I asked people, jobless claims come in higher or lower? Higher, probably higher, higher. Didn't we promise to escort every ship? Yeah. Even the U.S. Navy will be picked apart. Yeah, if they try. So you're saying there's a chance? Higher jobless claims? Yeah, I mean, after the really weak jobs report we saw on Friday last week, I think it's pretty easy to expect lower job numbers and worse, higher claims, higher unemployment claims today. Now, we'll see if that's what we get, but I think after all the stuff last week, it's pretty easy to expect that right now. I think it's pretty easy. So, we will see. Yeah, oil tech is attacked. President's tapping emergency reserves. IEA agreed to release 400 million barrels. The circuit breaker day is here. I don't think so necessarily. You know, if we look at the NASDAQ really isn't down a ton. It closed at 24,945s. It's at 24,840s. So NASDAQ being down $100 is a very small percentage drop. It's virtually nothing. Yeah, so this is a 0.44% drop. Was lower than that earlier, but less than 0.5% drop. Yeah, nothing's wrong with the audio, is there? We should be pretty good here. Y'all should be able to hear the music. Everything should be pretty solid. Is there a Palantir event today? Palantir is hosting its 9th AIP conference today in Miami. Presenters include the U.S. Department of Navy, Centrus Energy, SAP, Accenture, GE Aerospace, and more. Yeah, so Palantir doing an event at 10 o'clock. That might cause some volatility here. Is it worth buying the NASDAQ dip here, though, chat? I'm thinking about it here. How much time we have? We have 25 minutes until jobless claims numbers come out. 25 minutes. I'm thinking about it here. The problem with day trading right now is that I'll buy some here, but it's going to be small. And maybe we'll add some more to this. Take 2 contracts here. Maybe 3, and we're going to leave it alone at 3. Give it a little bit of time. Yeah, this is a Lucid direct-to-funded account as well. So we used a direct-to-funded Lucid, one of the best up-and-coming prop firms. You can use my coupon code BT, get 50% off for new users, direct-to-funded options here. The 25K direct-to-funded is like less than 250, which is really not a bad deal for direct-to-funded option here. So again, they're an affiliate of mine. I am biased, but if you want to check them out, there's the link. You can use my coupon code BT. Help support your friend here. I'm probably going to get ready to cut this. We've just broken down a little bit too much. I want to let it test the bottom of this range here, but I'm worried if it breaks underneath this, it's going to really swing down, and I don't want to get stuck in that here. So I'd rather just take a little small $70 loss. and let things stabilize here. We'll let it test though, but all right, markets are starting to correct. I'm gonna cut this here. I might get faked out. It might be a liquidity grab, but we'll come back to it. Gotta make sure there's no breaking news here. So first message, okay, we did get breaking news. So there's a couple things that just happened. The first message from Iran's new supreme leader is to be delivered within minutes, apparently. So the first message from the new leader in Iran is supposed to be delivered within minutes. We also had news that EU countries will notify the IEA of their intention to release oil reserves by 16 GMT today, 16 GMT. The EU commissioner spokesperson said EU sees no immediate oil supply security concerns due to the Iran disruption. And we did have U.S. Energy Secretary Wright also say we'll be able to move off Russian enriched uranium. We'll see what the statement by the new Iran leader says. We'll see what that statement says here. But we have 20 minutes here, chat. You think he'll play for peace? So yeah, what's the trade idea? Based off of, we don't really know what he's going to say, but the new Iran leader is supposed to speak today within minutes. So you got two potential outcomes from this, of course. He could say things that cause more instability in markets, more fear, higher oil, weaker equities. That's number one. Basically, he could, the more deep and the more hostile, I guess his quotes are regarding everything going on right now, the worse markets are going to react, the higher oil's probably going to go. And this is just my guess. The more peace-driven his talks are, the more he is pushing for peace and working things out. You know, obviously, the more stabilization in oil we might see. And so, which side do you guys think that's going to go regarding his comments today? They're supposed to be released within minutes. And we'll see what happens here. But the first message from Iran's new supreme leader is supposed to be coming out within minutes here today, guys. So, see what that looks like. Thursday, usually red day. Gonna be bad. It will look for peace, but under specific conditions. They want to inflict as much damage as they can to raise the price of oil down. He's gonna say the battle goes on. I highly doubt they're playing for peace. Yeah, I mean, my guess is he's gonna say, hey, he's gonna say. Obviously, he's going to be critical of everything going on, and I would assume it's not necessarily like constructive, if that makes sense. Again, this is my assumption here, that it's not necessarily constructive. Yeah, again, I don't expect it to necessarily push for peace. Yeah, so we're going to be watching the tape for that. We have jobless claims unemployment going live in about 18 minutes. They'll say they are winning. Dollar index is shooting up. Yeah, oil prices getting baked into this outcome a little bit. Oil now over $93 a barrel. So markets are pricing more deeper escalations, I guess is the best way to put it. Deeper escalations in the conflict from Iran's new supreme leader's quotes within minutes. So he's supposed to give his first message within minutes. We'll see if the oil shocks continue. Oil now over 93. It's still pushing up right now on this news. Oil is at 93.40s for WTI. 93.40s. I'm not saying they'll end this, but jobs all gone. Yeah, oil still pushing at 93.5s right now for WTI crude. And somebody asked this earlier, like, what's the difference between WTI, which is West Texas Intermediate crude, and Brent? Brent is more relevant for worldwide oil. So, like, Brent is generally more important globally than WTI is. WTI is more important for, like, U.S. pricing and, like, gas and stuff like that, but Brent is more important globally. So about 2/3 of the world's traded crude oil is priced off of Brent, with Europe, Africa, Middle East, and more. So Brent is the more important global oil metric. But here in the U.S., we look at WTI crude a lot. All right, so I'm still checking for news. I'm waiting to see when the what the quotes were from the new Iran leader here and see how that's going to affect things. So EU countries will notify the IEA of their intention to release oil reserves by 16 GMT today. 16 GMT. 15 minutes until the jobless claims job report goes live. But we're going to be watching the tape here to see if we get any quotes. Here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin is under 70.5 thousand right now. Okay, so apparently the Iranian supreme leader's first message to the public will describe special points, martyred leader's role, and duties of the people, armed forces, executive bodies, resistance front, countries of the region, and dealing with enemies, according to locals. So that is what we have coming here. Oil getting priced into this, chat. Oil up to over $93 a barrel right now for WTI crude. Looks like we can see some volatility today. Yeah, for sure. It's getting there. It's getting there. We got about 1,000 people here. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get today. We need tariffs. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting market right now. Here's oil. NASDAQ, I'm sure, is going down on this stuff, but it did bounce right at the volume-weighted average price here. This is what I was looking for originally, but we just kind of dipped a little bit too fast here. I probably could have held and waited in the NASDAQ, but we're at 24,830s right now, 24,830s. Yeah, the VIX is going to be elevated just with everything going on with oil up and everything down. But the VIX it is down some from where it was, though. The VIX is currently at 25s. It was at 35s on the 9th when the week started, basically. After all the stuff that happened over the weekend, VIX popped all the way up to 35s here. It's now back down to 25s. It's still up net. If you look at a long-term trend of the VIX, though, we're at the top range of the last year or so. Aside from this little guy right here. Yeah, this is from Liberation Day. Went up to 60. Understandably so. Liberation Day tanked market so fast. NASDAQ at 24,830s here on the NQ. 24,830s. Pre-market dumps when the job report is negative 100,000. The jobs report came out negative 92,000 on Friday. So that already happened. This is the jobless claims unemployment filings report. So this is not the non-farm payroll report. This is the jobless claims unemployment filing report. And the reason this is relevant is because a lot of the other data is delayed data. You know, like the jobs report is the report from the previous month, right? So the last report we got on Friday was from February. The reason jobless claims is relevant is because it shows how many people are filing for unemployment week to week. So jobless claims we get every Thursday. It is a more real-time look at unemployment and where that's at right now versus a little bit more delayed official jobs report that we get. And so again, today we're expected at 215,000, which is slightly higher than the 213 or 214 that we showed up last time. So today we're expecting 214 initial claims versus 213 last time. Trade balance data is also getting released. It's expected at negative 66.5 billion. Last time it was negative 70 plus billion. So we are expecting to export a little bit more than we were in the last import price trade balance. Still watching here. Pentagon CTO Emil Michael says Anthropic was trying to redefine their own definition of what domestic surveillance meant and take that power away from Congress, according to CNBC. So estimates from Bloomberg Economics show the Strait of Hormuz being closed for 3 months would get Brent crude oil up to $164 a barrel. So again, this is by Bloomberg Economics here, just to go look deeper into crude. This is by Bloomberg Economics right now. Look at this. So again, they think the Strait of Hormuz being closed for 3 months, Brent crude would get up to over $160 a barrel right here. If it's closed for 3 months. If it's closed for 1 month, they have it right around $80 a barrel for Brent, which we're already well over that. If it's closed for 2 months, they have it at, what is this? Like 85s. 3 months. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong price on this graph. So just to clarify here. Yeah, so if it's closed for 1 month, they think oil's going to stay over $100 a barrel for Brent. If it's closed for 2 months, they think it's going to stay by April right around $140 a barrel. If it's closed for 3 months, they think it's going to get up to over 160s here. So this is by Bloomberg Economics right now. Bloomberg Economics. So yeah, we'll see if they're right. Do you guys believe this? Yeah, the longer it goes on, the higher the floor is what this is. So let's get ready. Jobless claims unemployment going live in about 10 minutes here today, chat. 10 minutes. Looks reasonable. Sounds accurate. Market believes it. It'll be much higher. Will it? You're my new Bloomberg. Yeah, I was seeing some of the other streams that cover some of the data that I cover. A lot of them cover it late. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying when the data comes out, you know it within like 5 seconds for me. I'm not saying I'm the best place for data ever in the world, but that might be true. Definitely top 3 is what I'm saying. Oil still pushing up. It's at 93.5s right now, 93.5s. It won't take any longer than 2 months. How long will the Strait of Hormuz be closed? I should have done that for the poll. Looking at this poll, we asked people, will oil go up or down over the next 2 weeks? 64% think up, 36% think down. How long will the Strait be closed is the next question. I'm not going to do a poll around it, maybe later. But how long will the Strait be closed? John Berg is better than Bloomberg. You are the best, my brother. Hey, thank you, Robert. 6 months? I think the biggest spike happened already. Yeah, I mean, we saw Brent get over 120 over the weekend. Like, by Monday, over 120 for Brent crude. WTI crude, I think, hit 120 as well, if we look at it. If we zoom out, yeah. Over 120 for Brent. WTI crude almost hit 120. So, if we're talking about the big spike. We saw a big spike over the weekend. We've kind of stabilized into it, but look at oil, guys. Oil is moving up here. We're waiting for the Iran new leader to speak and see what he says. I'm sure it's going to escalate, you know, drama a little bit here, but we're waiting for it. Chat. Till May. Top 3 for sure, and you do it in a really funny way. Very fun way? Okay. I can respect that. I was gonna say, like, funny haha, or like, you know. But I appreciate it. I don't know. We don't know when he's speaking, but we should get his first message within minutes, is what news sources are saying here regarding the Iran new supreme leader. Are you spamming here, bro? Dude, sit in timeout and think about what you've done, sir. Sit in timeout and think about it. All right, guys. Hey, we got 7 minutes left. 7 minutes. How dare you try to spam in my stream, dude? You know what I wish I had? I used to have a green screen. And I can throw the green screen up. It's right behind me. But whenever somebody would troll the chat, I would put myself huge. Like, I would make myself huge like the Wizard of Oz. And I would be like, how dare you? Like, maybe I should go back to that. I think it was kind of funny. But I think it also encourages more trolls. And so, from a troll myself, I don't want to feed the trolls, you know? I gotta just let them be, I think. Yeah, the floating head. We did have a floating head for a while, too. All right, guys, oil back down to 93, dipping a little bit. Jobless claims in about 6 minutes. I don't know how much this is going to move markets either. We'll see. We'll see. Sub-only mode? Yeah, that's probably right. I'll throw on sub-only mode. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, guys. We appreciate it. 5 minutes left, 5 minutes. Also, STRC. I like STRC. I think there's, you know, I'm going to preface this with, listen, guys, I am not against Bitcoin. I'm not against Bitcoin. All right. But I think STRC is a high yield Bitcoin ETF. I think that's correct. And again, guys, I'm not an expert on this stuff, so you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. But just, I know what STRC is. It pays you what? 10% annualized on the month. It's supposed to stay around $100. It's a micro strategy or strategy backed ETF, that high income yielding ETF, 10% annually, I think is what it pays you. What is going on here? Hold on. I'm sorry. Somebody started rapping, and it's supposed to be instrumentals only. There we go. But yeah, so I'd love 10% annualized a year by holding an ETF. The problem is that I think the risks are just a tad bit higher in this versus other potential dividend paying ETFs, if that makes sense. But we'll come back to it. We have jobless claims. Is it 11.5 now annually? Oh, wow. That's actually that's higher than I thought it was. All right, guys, here we go. Yield on the stock market is a Ponzi compared to gold. I don't know, brother. Like I think you have to understand gold long term. And gold long term can move up big or down big. Look at the long term history of gold. So gold can downtrend for a decade, brother. And so gold is great. I like gold. I think it's a great long term inflation hedge. I'm not an investment professional, but it's not like gold is always good to sit on short term. Like gold can downtrend for an extended period of time. Look at the history of it. Anyways, we're going to pull oil up today. We got this release coming out, so we're going to put 2 charts up here. And we're going to look at oil and maybe the S&P right here. S&P at 6730, 6730s. Oil sitting at 93s. So let's see what happens here. The report is going live. We have 2.5 minutes. John, can you explain how this data impacts rates? Higher jobless claims should make rates go down. I'm not going to say should make rates go down, but higher jobless claims shows weaker jobs, which shows a lower interest rate sentiment. That's the correlation. So weaker jobs means more justification in rate cuts, which means interest rate sentiment goes down, and vice versa. Lower jobless claims means stronger jobs, means less need to cut interest rates. So yields and interest rates follow each other. So higher claims should make yields go down some, maybe. It's never a certainty though. And lower claims showing stronger jobs report would probably make yields go up slightly. So we'll watch yields as well after this report. But here we go. We have 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. Jobless claims, unemployment filings. What do you think today? I don't know what we're getting today, brother. Today, we're close enough to both. We're slightly red on the day, though. Here we go, though, chat. We have about a minute left. Jobless claims expected at 214 today. 214. 214 today for jobless claims. Did I put it in sub-only mode? Did I save it afterwards? Did I do that yet? Are we in sub-only mode? Are we? Okay, yeah, we are. All right, good, good. All right, guys, here we go. We got 1 minute left until jobless claims unemployment goes live. 1 minute. Let's see what we get today. $40 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed to make sure you catch up to the stream here, chat. We also have housing starts, building permits. All of this stuff's going live at 8:30. Import-export data. Trade balance data. All right, 30 seconds, guys. 30 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed to make sure you're not delayed. And I don't have a prediction for jobless claims, Nick. I'm not really good at predicting jobless claims. There's too much variance with these. All right, guys, 10 seconds here. 10 seconds. Jobless claims expected at 215. Today, 215. Here we go. Here's the report right now. Housing starts 1.487 million. 1.487 million. Jobless claims 213, lower than expected 214. They also revised the last one up to 214, but jobless claims 213. 213 jobless claims versus 214 expected, and they revised the previous one up 1,000 from 213 previously to 214. So lower than expected jobless claims. Markets are reacting slightly negative to this so far, but it's a very small reaction because they basically came in as expected. Building permits showed up at 4.8% positive, though, in Canada. In the U.S., they showed up lower than expected at 1.376 million, down 5.4% from the previous one. Import-export data showed up. Where's the trade balance data? Trade balance data showed up at negative 54.5 billion, which shows that we are exporting a lot more than we expected. It was expected at negative 66 billion. It showed up at negative 54.5 billion. So we're exporting a lot more than expected here. Lower jobless claims by a very small margin at 213 versus 214. And they revised the previous one up 1,000 to 214 as well. Housing starts did show up stronger than expected, though. Continuing claims showed up completely flat, 1.85 million. And the NASDAQ is not liking this at all, guys. NASDAQ is falling down on this report. Down to 67.3. And the S&P and the NASDAQ, we are dropping on this report. I'll put this data up on screen, but again, basically flat jobless claims. The last one was revised to 214 from 213, but basically break even jobless claims data today. Will this market help or hurt the market here? Let's take a deeper look at this right now. Again, let's take a deeper look, but will this data help to hurt the market? The NASDAQ is honestly dropping down pretty significantly on this. Yeah. Jobless claims, weaker than expected. Yeah, just to show you guys this news release. 213, decrease of 1,000 from the previous week. Here's the graph right now. So we're basically flat. This isn't really a big data release. Jobless claims showed up basically as expected. Nothing really shocking here, I don't think. Yeah. Last one was revised up by 1,000. So basically as expected, jobless claims today. Yeah, sometimes the first move is the wrong move. We did have this big red candle from it, but now we're just kind of sitting here. No, it's basically a flat report. We can take a look at oil, though. Oil is down to 93. I'm still watching the tape here to see if we get those quotes from the new Iran leader who's supposed to speak within minutes. Trade balance data was actually negative 54, so versus negative 70 previously and estimated at 66 billion. So you can see the trade balance data here. I'll put this up in the chat as well. It's only revised up by 1,000. So I see somebody say the revised up was a lot. It wasn't up that much. It was revised up by 1K, which is negligible, I think. Housing starts did show up stronger than expected for January. They rose 7.2% month over month. Previous was 6.2%. Building permits showed weaker, though. They fell 5.4%. Previous was 4.3%. So building permits weak. Housing starts strong. Jobless claims flat. Import-export data showed lower trade balance data than expected, which means we're exporting a lot more than we expected. Here's the S&P here, kind of unchanged. Oil down to 93s. And the NASDAQ is net red on this report. You can see the drops on the NASDAQ here. So yeah, we have PCE inflation data tomorrow, though. So we do have PCE inflation. NASDAQ's still coming down, though. Here, we will try to trade this guy, so let's try. We are down net from this report, and we're starting to really test some of these lows here. But if I got to take a position here, I'm going to short now. We'll see what happens, though. John, isn't Brent oil the price, the standard, not crude? To a certain extent, globally, yes, Brent is the standard. In the United States, it kind of pivots more towards WTI. Yes, but globally, Brent is the bigger standard, and it's slightly higher than WTI on average usually. It's not really a speech. We're waiting to see his comments. He's supposed to have his first comments. Hold on. So the U.S. January exports of autos and parts are at the lowest level since 2021, apparently. Again, exports of autos and parts at the lowest since 2021. Interesting. Yeah, maybe I'm getting a little greedy here, but I'm shorting this right now. Again, if you want to help support your boy here, check out Lucid Trading. Most day traders lose money. You fund your own account thousands of dollars, you're probably going to lose. I don't care what course you take, who you follow, who your mentor is. Most day traders just lose. All right, we're going to take a little bit off here. Most day traders just lose money. And so why fund your own account thousands of dollars? In the futures market, there's no PDT rule. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities, oil, and more. Great way to learn. Most day traders lose. They give you a demo, test your skill with it. It's usually less than $100 for the base. Lucid has a direct to funding option, super relaxed rules, great way to learn, great splits for traders, and they also have a direct to funded option you can get for under $250 if you use my coupon code BT. Beginner Trading, help support the channel here. We appreciate it. Again, I'll put this link up one more time. They are an affiliate of mine. I am biased. I get paid by them. I try to be honest with people. I'm biased. You want to help support the channel? Use my coupon code BT on Lucid. There's the link right there if you want to check it out. I appreciate it. We're still in this short right here on the NASDAQ. We are writing it down some. Let's see if we break down some more. I'll take a little bit more off here and wait a little while now. But yeah, that's where we're at here. I'm holding one little baby contract left on this. I'm trying to catch this gap right here. Maybe if it did work down to like 800s. But we are getting a rebound back up here. We'll give it some time. There we go. All right, that's good. Come on, break this low and flush a little bit here. The Italy defense minister says airstrikes on Italian base in Iraq was deliberate. That news just dropped. We'll probably hold this break even now on the rest, but I might add to it too. I'm gonna decide. Depends on the price action here. We might hold this a little bit longer. We'll add to it. All right. I like that candle. Yep. Let's see if we flush. Still waiting. Again, we had news earlier that the new Iran leader, the first message from Iran's new supreme leader, should be out within minutes. All right, so now we're technically red a little bit here. We'll give it a second. We break the top of this candle, I'll cut it. It's my wrist now. Okay, that's better. And nope, still holding. All right, we'll give it a second. Flush. I don't think Iran's new leader is gonna say constructive things. All right, so we cut that just now. We got out mostly flat. We made money on the trade net though, so we are green. We'll see what happens. So Goldman Sachs raised its U.S. inflation forecast and cut its 26 growth outlook, warning that higher oil prices links to the Iran conflict are the main economic risk right now. The bank expects Brent crude to average $98 a barrel in March to April, potentially $110 if flows through the Strait are disrupted for over a month before easing to $71 a barrel by Q4 of this year. They now see PCE inflation index at 2.9%, core at 2.4% by the end of this year. GDP growth is cut to 2.2% for the year. So oil prices just bounced to the 93.40s here, and oil prices ahead of the words from this guy are up to 93.40s. You can also use my coupon code BG on coupon code BT, guys. But if you're using Take Profit, you can use BG. Yeah. So you can use BG or BT for Apex. Lucid is BT. Beginner Trading BT. We're up to 93.4s on oil. Let's see if the rise continues, though. All right, oil just popped up to 93.60s before retracing here, though. Common sense market goes lower. Yeah, the longer the Strait of Hormuz stays closed, the worse it is for markets, of course. Higher it is for inflation. Markets don't like high inflation. They generally want easing as well. And so the longer it stays closed, the higher oil prices we get, the worse inflation and the less easing that we're going to see is the logic here, right? Markets want easing. The Fed reduces interest rates when the economy or the labor market is justifiably weak. And so if we have a weak market, that's one thing. But if inflation's high, that kind of puts some red tape around rate cuts. Why? Because with inflation being a risk, easing causes worse inflation generally. And so we have less of the green light to cut interest rates if inflation's a problem. And with the oil premium we're seeing from this conflict, inflation is probably going to be a problem in the next 30 days. One of the more interesting reports that we have coming out in the next 30 days is going to be the report we get for April and CPI inflation. So we get a CPI inflation report. The April report that we get next month for this month in March is going to be really interesting because this last CPI report from yesterday was cut off right before the conflict started. Although we did get some rises in oil just before the month ended from the rumors of the conflict starting. We talked about it on the Friday before March that there could be strikes over the weekend, and then there were strikes. So just the rumors of those strikes caused oil to go up some. But we really saw the deep increases in oil starting in March. And so this inflation report that we get from March specifically is going to be really interesting. Again, starting here. Let me show you guys this. Starting here. Look how much oil has gone up since then. So we're going to see some inflation from this in the next inflation report we get for CPI inflation next month. I think that's the most interesting economic report we have coming out. The only other one could be the jobs report. Outside of that, we do have the Fed meeting on Wednesday next week, and it is a dot plot Fed meeting, I think. And so I think we're going to get a summary of economic projections, essentially economic outlook by the Fed. And yeah, guys, we did have the U.S. Energy Secretary saying that the U.S. Navy is not ready to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. He said the United States Navy is not ready to escort tankers through the strait as military assets remain focused on the conflict. He said escorts could begin later this month, but shipping through the strait has been largely halted. Oil prices are up to 93.30s right now. And yeah, I'm sure Brent crude is getting close to 100. It was at 96 when I looked at it earlier. Where's Brent crude right now? It's at 98. So yeah, Brent crude getting close to $100. WTI crude at 93s here. Yeah, use coupon code BT on Lucid. BT on Lucid. I still gotta get a banner made. You know what? I'll make it right now. Let me see. There we go. All right, so I'm downloading this other. Yeah, remember it's coupon code BT or Apex or Lucid is really what it is. All right, NASDAQ's still dipping down here. I should have held that short. We made a little money on it, but I should have held. Still waiting for this, for the... Okay, so we did get the, we did get the guy speaking here right now. Or no, we don't actually have it. So again, this strategic message issued in 7 important chapters contains special points. So this is what he's going to be speaking about regarding the supreme leader there. Leaders of the revolution, the role and duties of the people, the armed forces, the executive bodies, the resistance front, as well as countries of the region confronting the enemies is going to be the kind of chapters of what he's going to say today. We're still waiting for what he actually says, though. And I'm assuming it's not going to be easing of the conflict. I'm assuming it's going to be escalating words regarding things. As soon as we see it coming across, we'll cover it, though, chat. Yeah. Oil down to 93s. Hey, my guy, thank you so much for the $2. What is that, 2 pounds? Is that 2 pounds? Hey, thank you, Marcus. Is that pounds or the euro? I always get the euro and the pound. Okay, yeah, that's pounds. Hey, thank you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see what this news says. Again, we're waiting on him to speak. And so stick around. We'll cover it as soon as he speaks. Yeah, waiting on the news, guys. Anytime the market dumps, the current administration comes out, says a lot of headlines talking about the golden age. Market always recovers. Does it? All right, oil down to 93s. NASDAQ still sitting here at 94.80s. So it's not like we have a speech planned specifically here, just to put this into perspective. It's not like we're going to have a big speech. We have words from the new Iran leader, supreme leader, coming out today. It's going to be the first message from the new supreme leader within minutes, is what they said. And this was 40 minutes ago. And so I guess it depends on what they consider minutes. But it's been 40 minutes right now. I would consider minutes under an hour. If somebody says something's coming out within minutes, I'm assuming it's going to be less than an hour. Because then they could have said, you know, within hours. But yeah, I'm still waiting to see when that news comes out. I don't know how much that's going to move markets as well. We are about 40 minutes until the market opens today, though, guys. So we'll see what we get. Okay, Iraq's oil minister says we have decided to continue producing crude oil at a level of 1.4 million barrels per day, according to the state news agency. Again, Iraq's oil minister said we have decided to continue producing crude oil at a level of 1.4 million barrels per day, according to state news. Yeah, look at that Bitcoin. Bitcoin is starting to creep back up here. So Bitcoin had fallen all the way down to 73s. It's back up to 70.6. So Bitcoin has been heading up since early this morning here. Although it did dip prior to that. It's kind of flat on the day, slightly green. But it's over 70. And I think over 70 is optimistic for Bitcoin right now. Is it time to buy Bitcoin? Yes or no in chat? Again, just to clarify the news, we did get news that we have decided to continue. Iraq's oil minister said we have decided to continue producing crude at a level of 1.4 million barrels per day. A lot of Mag 7 stocks are down today. Here's the NASDAQ here, but if we take a look at like Nvidia, red, 184s. Apple, red. Was green for a little while, but now back red. Microsoft, red. Meta, red. Amazon, red. Netflix, red. Alphabet, red. So most Mag 7 stocks are red this morning. All Mag 7 stocks are red so far today. You can see the previous closing price on Google up there. We do have a Palantir event at 10 o'clock today where they're going to debut some stuff and talk about stuff. So we do have a Palantir event today. It's still over 150 from the war premium, the defense premium for Palantir, but it's moving some. But I think all eyes are on the price of oil right now. Oil at $93 a barrel for WTI crude. Brent crude is up to like 97s or 98s right now. So always time to buy Bitcoin, time to sell Bitcoin. No, it's not time to buy DCA. Better prices ahead. Gold, oil, Bitcoin. No, not yet. No. Yes, buy Bitcoin. Yes, never. Wait for 50K. Oil sitting right at 93. Look at the bounce off of the volume weighted average price. It looks like oil follows the VWAP as well. Like, look at that bounce right here. Look at this rejection right here as well on the volume weighted average price. We have a little bit higher lows though here, but VWAP looks better than the 200 EMA for oil. Here's the S&P E-mini. 6730s here on the S&P. Hey, what's up, Sam? Might be time to trim the oil portfolio. Yeah, we did a poll earlier regarding oil. We said over the next 2 weeks, do oil prices move up or down? We got almost 1,000 votes. 64% said up over the next few weeks. 64% said up. So we will see here, guys. We will see. We'll see if the wisdom of the crowd holds here today. You know, in statistics, there's something called the wisdom of the crowd. I don't know about my crowd, though. No offense to the chat. I'm just joking. You guys are geniuses over there. S&P down to 6730s. How did the jobs report come in? It showed up as expected, basically at 213 versus 214 or 215. So basically as expected here today. All right, I put new music up, and you know, and then it shows up as this. Let me make sure where the vocals are instrumentals here. That's better. I'd choose the community hero over some other ones out there for sure. Yeah, it really, Sam, it really depends on how long this conflict lasts. You know, we can make predictions about the price of oil. It depends on how long the strait's closed, how long this conflict lasts. The longer it drags on, the higher oil is going to go. The longer the Strait of Hormuz is closed, the higher oil is going to go, probably. Iraq's oil minister says 200,000 barrels per day are being transported via reservoirs through Turkey, Syria, and Jordan. So Iran's security chief says region could face blackout within 30 minutes if the power grid is destroyed, on a post on X. Trump has said we can take apart. Yeah, he said we can take apart Iran's electricity capacity within 1 hour, but we have not done it. He said if they do that, the whole region will go dark in less than half an hour, and darkness provides ample opportunity to go after servicemen. I mean, I think there's a... Never mind. Basically saying if we do go dark, we can go, it'll be easier. It's like Daredevil. S&P at 6730s here, guys. S&P at 6730s. All right, guys. S&P's choppy right here. What do we do here? Long or short on the S&P right now? Long or short? What do we do here? We're waiting for the market open here today, guys. We got 30 minutes until the market opens. Iraq's oil minister is still speaking. He says we will sign an agreement regarding oil exports via the Sion pipeline. The tankers targeted on Wednesday did not belong to Iraq and were carrying naphtha. This is after Iraq's oil minister said 200,000 BPD are being transported via reservoirs through Turkey, Syria, and Jordan. Long on the S&P, long, flat, long. Everybody's saying long in the S&P. Here's the ES right here. It's at 67.35s. We have the short-term range, though. The short-term range is here, I would say, in the S&P 500. So we're watching this little guy right here, this little range here. But here's the short-term range. We'll see if we break out of that, but that's the range we're in right now. Jobless claims are picking up since January 10th. Yeah, and we did see like autos. So hold on, UK's Prime Minister says have asked the Treasury to look at oil-based heating costs. Iraq's oil minister says we have implemented a plan to manage the current situation, especially after the events in the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, oil is volatile right now, although oil's kind of flat. Everybody's kind of sitting on their hands waiting for Iran's new leader to speak. I'm guessing I'm guessing they're going to be escalatory in his quotes. Like I'm guessing he's going to be pushing they're going to be escalating the fears. Escalatory here is what I'm guessing from his words. Not actually going to be a speech, I don't think. It's just going to be quotes from him. Now, we did have IDF saying they detected the launch of missiles from Iran and they're working to intercept it now. We're watching this range of the S&P 500. Oil is pretty flat, though. Hey, thank you, Sam. No, we're waiting for the new leader to talk, Trackstar. But we're watching oil prices. Look at oil moving a little bit here, though. Look at oil. I don't know if it's the IDF news I just covered that's causing it, but... yeah, gas prices are up ridiculous amounts, though. Just a few days ago, before we had some of this escalation of the conflict, I bought 93 octane. It was like almost $5 a gallon. All right, so now it's 9 o'clock in the morning here, chat. Opening bell is in 30 minutes. Look at oil jump to over 93 here. Let me make sure nothing's coming out right now. Microsoft apparently rolling out AI health assistant in a consumer chatbot. Expect gas to go up more. $93 for oil. Oil's rising here, but I don't see any breaking news regarding stuff. Still waiting for the Supreme Leader quotes. His first message to the public will describe special points, roles and duties, armed forces, executive bodies, resistant front, countries of the region, and dealing with enemies according to locals. But we're still waiting for it. We got the news. When was this? The first message from Iran's new Supreme Leader to be delivered within minutes. This was 53 minutes ago. 53 minutes ago. We are still waiting on that. Who knows when we're actually going to get it. Like I said, within minutes means less than an hour here. We got 7 minutes to be less than an hour. Yeah, so I saw that regarding Starmer asking the Treasury to look at oil-based heating costs. AI generated statement. Bitcoin. Bitcoin's in a big range, but flat. Honestly, most markets are flat right now. Here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's at 7040s. So I would say most markets are in this kind of range here, where we got like big ups and downs from just the news that we're getting this morning, but kind of sideways, if that makes sense. So we're not really going up big. We're not really going down big. But mostly sideways. S&P and the NASDAQ are starting to creep higher here as well. All right, look at the S&P pop. 6740s on the S&P, 6740s. NASDAQ starting to bounce here as well. We're at the top of that range here. Could also be a big longer term resistance though. Google says they're introducing ground source, a new Gemini powered methodology. NASDAQ starting to bounce higher. I think this is the Google news helping this again. Google came out with news that they're introducing ground source, a new Gemini powered methodology. Google is up from about 305.90s to 306.60s right now. It's helping drag the market up. Here's the NASDAQ push. It's at 24,850 right now on the NQ, 24,850. "25 minutes into the market opens here, chat." All right, look at the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is rising. Thoughts on having no choice at being born and forced to work for life to make other wealthy people wealthy? I mean, if self-made millionaires weren't a thing, I might agree with that. But I think life is all about competition. And some people try to compete and they fail. And that's life. You know? Do people have advantages? Sure. 100% they do. You know? Let me talk to Bill Gates' kids, you know? Freaking Warren Buffett's kids, you know? They've got big advantages over everybody. But that's life. I don't think sitting around complaining about it's necessarily the right move. I think that just causes people to stay stagnant and not do anything. NASDAQ starting to come back down here. NASDAQ at 24,830s. You can use BT for Lucid and Apex, Matt. Yeah, I can't tell if y'all are mad at my words or mad at the guy that originally said those words. You know? I'm assuming y'all are mad at the guy. I'm not mad at it, I just disagree, you know? What is your best advice for a starting trader? Trade small. Paper trade small, try funded account programs versus funding your own account. You know, you get this thing where people get started, and sometimes people work at their job and they make enough money to fund their own account, like 10, 20, 30 grand day trading in the beginning. My advice is to you is do not freaking do that. Just do not do it. Most day traders are going to lose their first account. You fund your own account 30 grand, you're probably going to lose 30 grand. So trade small. Again, if you want to check out a prop firm, I think limiting your risk with something like that. I still think you're going to lose in the beginning because that's just what new traders do. They lose. But it's a lot less generally. I'm biased. I get paid by them. But even if I didn't, I still think it's probably the right move. Thanks for the data updates, John. You're always reliable. Much appreciated. Hey, all good, brother. Crypto still waiting for innovation. Guy just needs a pep talk. Translation sucks to be them. You know, I've been very lucky and blessed in my life. I can't really complain, to be honest here. And so, yeah. I appreciate the love here. Thanks so much, chat. Oil down at 92.90s. NASDAQ at 24.80s. Some people recommend don't risk more than 1 to 2% of your capital in any trade. You're a good guy, John. Hey, I try, man. I try. I welcome a bunch of different like mindsets and you know, beliefs here. It's all love. Like regardless of what you believe, you can hang out here. I'm not gonna ban you, not unless you're like disrespectful. But it's all good. It's all good. All good vibes from New York City. Thank you, Sarge. Appreciate it, brother. Give the least effort possible. I'm not making someone else and their kids wealthy. Yeah, I mean, look. I get it. I get it. Capitalism's not perfect. Definitely got flaws. The problem is that the other options are worse. Looking at history, you got to look at history. You can have these ideologies and concepts in your head and say, hey, you know, we should share everything and everybody should get along and like everything's great. But you got to look at what works historically. And, you know. Oil at $93 a barrel. NASDAQ at 24.830s here. Still sideways, still within this range. I'm curious to see if we find some support around like 25s right here, maybe. If we break under 25s, though, 825s, I'm just thinking we're going to be continued flat. We have 20 minutes left until the opening bell, though. Yeah, he hasn't spoken yet. I'm still watching the price of oil, but we did have Iran saying a new wave of missiles launched. According to U.S. intelligence, they see no immediate risk of regime collapse in Iran nearly 2 weeks into the war. Strikes have hurt people, strikes have taken people out and stuff, but they don't see a risk of regime collapse. We also had news that the first official statement from the new leader will be released shortly. Will be released shortly here, guys. So watch oil, watch the NASDAQ. We're going to cover this news as it happens. Hey, thank you, PP. I appreciate it. All right, we're up to 93s here, 93s. NASDAQ at 24.850. Bull or bear ahead of the first comments from the Iran leader. Again, we had another update that they're supposed to come out soon. It's been over an hour. I do want them to define what minutes means, because over an hour ago they said it would be out within minutes. Nothing yet. Oil's pushing up. It's at 93.30s. I'm assuming the words from him are going to be escalatory. I'm assuming they're going to escalate fears, but maybe not, and maybe we get a surprise there. Oil is pushing up at 93.20s here, though. Top of the range is at around 93.50, 93.60. Let's see if oil continues to push. NASDAQ dipping down some here as well. Yeah, we did get news that a couple tankers got hit overnight. That's why oil is so high. Oil at 93 for WTI crude. Brent crude is probably at, what, 98s right now? 97s, 98s? So, here we go. Still waiting. Opening bell is in 18 minutes here, though, so we'll see if we get this update before the opening bell volatility. But again, the first official statement from Iran's new leader will be released shortly, apparently. 24,837s here. 24,837s. Yeah, I'm seeing STRC news, which is a high-income Bitcoin ETF here, but NASDAQ dipping a little bit. Still in a range, though. What happened to 9% inflation? Alright, NASDAQ dipping. Look at this drop. Here's 825s, the level we talked about right here. We're looking at 825s right here. This looks red. Oil spiking up. Let's see if we got any words from him. I don't think so yet, but 93.30s here, chat. 93.30s. NASDAQ dipping down. Look at this drop here. Oh. We did have Iran say it began a new wave of missile launches. Still waiting for the first official statement. NASDAQ dipping, oil spiking right now ahead of the opening bell. Brazilian government is reportedly to detail oil swing measures at 13:40 GMT, which is 9:40 Eastern Standard Time today. All right, look at this dump in the NASDAQ, though, guys. I'm assuming maybe he's speaking. They're translating it now. But let me see. Yeah, oil surging to 93.40s. NASDAQ down to 24.8s, 24.8K. Still waiting here. Again, this is at, look at oil spike, 93.60s right now. NASDAQ dipping down here, chat. Spikes in oil, dips in the NASDAQ. There's an inverse correlation here, and this is after Iran said it began a new wave of missile launches on Israel 2 minutes ago. NASDAQ dipped, oil popped, 93.40s, almost $94 a barrel for oil. Still waiting on the official statement from the Iran leader. U.S. president did post on the U.S. The Trump posted. He said, quote, "The United States is the largest oil producer in the world by far, so when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money. But of far greater interest and importance to me as president is stopping an evil empire in Iran," is what he said. Oil popping here, NASDAQ dipping. And again, I can't tell if this is from the president tweeting here, or the attacks from Iran. But look at these drops right now. Oil popping up to 94.40s a barrel here, guys, as we speak. BG is for take profit. BG, take profit. The other ones are BT, basically. If you have Tradeify, I think you can use BG for Tradeify as well. NASDAQ dipping here. Oil spiking. Look at oil surge. Wow. Again, the president said U.S. is the largest oil producer in the world by far, so when oil goes up, we make a lot of money. But of far greater interest and importance to me as president is stopping Iran from having nuclear weapons and hurting the Middle East and indeed the world. I won't ever let that happen. Thank you for your attention to this matter, U.S. president. End quote. So, the president basically said stopping Iran is greater interest to me than oil prices. And oil up to $94 a barrel. Brent crude is probably over 100 now on this spike, right? Or Brent crude is at 98.20s that I'm showing last. Almost 100. So, we have 13 minutes until the opening bell. We're still waiting on the Iran Supreme Leader's words that are supposed to come out soon. They've been saying this for over an hour, though. NASDAQ dipping. Bitcoin dipping as well. Here's Bitcoin falling right now. Opening bell in 12 minutes. All right, guys, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We appreciate it. Yeah, the president just tweeted oil spiking. We got news. Okay, so here's the message. The Iran state TV did read Iran Supreme Leader message. So we should have that translated very soon. So again, here's the jump in NASDAQ and the dip in oil here. Let's see if this is from the message coming out here. So okay, so still waiting. Okay, so Iran's supreme leader in a statement on TV calls for unity among people and calls for participation on QUDS Day. NASDAQ did jump a little bit, but again, he called for unity among people and calls for participation on QUDS Day. We're going to keep giving you guys the cliff notes of this as they come out. It's being translated right now. He's on TV speaking right now. NASDAQ's dipping down, oil spiking back up. He thanks the military in Iran. Again, he calls for unity among people and calls for participation. NASDAQ at 94, or oil at 94.5 for WTI crude here. But watch for volatility. We are 10 minutes ahead of the opening bell. And the new Iran leader is speaking right now regarding things. So this is after the president just spoke as well. He said, we will not give up on avenging for people. Again, we're going to keep giving you cliff notes right now, but the words are coming out right now. Oil just spiked up at 94.60s. NASDAQ is down to 24.7s. NASDAQ is dipping ahead of the opening bell on these words, and the oil prices are surging at 94.70 right now for WTI crude. 94.7. NASDAQ just cracked lows down to 94.7 or 24.770. So the Iran leader said all U.S. bases should immediately be closed in the region, and those bases will be attacked. End quote. Iran's new leader. Again, all of U.S. bases should be immediately closed in the region, and those bases will be attacked, he says. Again, escalatory. NASDAQ down to 24.760s now. Oil spiking up to around $95 a barrel for WTI crude. Brent crude prices on these words are at 98.3s, almost $100 a barrel here. Again, he said all U.S. bases should be immediately closed in the region. He said the Strait of Hormuz should stay closed. Again, he did say the Strait of Hormuz should stay closed here. Yeah, this is kind of what we thought here. This is what we thought we would get. I didn't think they would be peaceful. Should have shorted the NASDAQ, honestly. But again, he called for unity, called for participation, says we have thwarted the attempt to divide Iran. All U.S. bases immediately should be closed in the region. Strait of Hormuz should stay closed, he says. Oil 130 by the end of next week, maybe 150. Yeah, I'm just watching the translated quotes come through. That's what I'm doing here. Oil up to 94.80s. About to hit 95. Just tapped 95. Over $95 a barrel for WTI crude. NASDAQ just cracked lows of the day into the opening bell in 8 minutes here. Iraq oil minister is going to sign an agreement on exporting oil via sand. Again, just to clarify, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of this stuff. I am just giving you guys market-moving quotes here. Quotes that are moving markets right now. Oil broke 95s, is now dipping down. It's at 94.8s. NASDAQ at 24.760. Hit 24.750 just now. I mean, I'm relaxed. I'm just covering news and market swings. He said Iran will not refrain from avenging the losses. And this is after the president said the U.S. makes a lot of money when oil prices rise because they're the world's largest oil producer. U.S. president. So we do have G7 foreign ministers are going to be meeting on March 24th and 25th in Paris for talks about efforts to end this conflict, according to the Canadian foreign minister. But again, Iran's leader said the Strait of Hormuz should stay closed. NASDAQ up to 24.780s here. Oil dipping back down some. But we have the opening bell chat in 6 minutes. 6 minutes. All right, NASDAQ up to 24.780s. Nvidia down to 184s. I'm not saying I agree or like I'm not checking all this stuff to see if it's true. All I know is oil's up, NASDAQ's down net from these comments here, but I think most people could have predicted they were going to be escalatory comments by this guy, of course. I mean, yeah, so we hit 95s on oil. NASDAQ's starting to retrace some of these losses, though. So oil's starting to dip and NASDAQ's starting to push ahead of the opening bell. The market on open data should move markets pretty soon here as well, but we'll see. We have 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes before the opening bell, and we will be trading this. When oil prices go up, everything goes up. Yeah, I don't know if he's done speaking. I haven't seen any new quotes come out on the tape over the last minute or so. Yeah, Brent crude hit $100 a barrel after he said the closure of the Strait of Hormuz should be continued. NASDAQ up to 24.790s here. Ooh, let's get ready to trade. Where's Bitcoin at? Bitcoin bounced right at 70K just now. So if you look at Bitcoin here, here's 70,000 right here. This blue line, 70K. We bounced exactly off of 70,000 here. Ahead of the opening bell, guys, again, you want to help support the channel. We are going to be trading on a Lucid direct to funded account here. You can get one for less than $250, direct to funded. You don't have to pass the test. You get direct to funded on Lucid, or I think it's like $238 if you use my coupon code BT. Beginner trading BT. You can also get 50% off for new users and more, so check it out. Great way to help support the channel. We are going to be trading on that this morning. All right, so he said Iran will take compensation from the enemy. So he's still speaking right now. He said Iran will take compensation from the enemy is what he says. Again, if you want to check out Lucid, put this link up before the open. There's the link right there. Check it out. It shows 362 after my code. What? Somebody try using my code on Lucid. Tell me if it works. It should work. Let me know if you used my code today or yesterday. It should work. All right, guys, here we go. The opening bell in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Used it yesterday and it works. Hey, thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you, Octavia. I think it's sim-funded, Sam, to be honest. But I think there's a couple different options. Check it out. All right, guys, let's get ready here. We got a minute and a half left. A minute and a half left. I used it yesterday. All right, cool. Thank you, Clifford. Yeah, just be careful. Even if you're using too many contracts, it's still a lot. Robert said, I'm trading futures on my TOS account. Only 2 contracts. Too many contracts moves. And so just be careful, brother. Be careful. All right, guys. So we're still looking for more quotes here, but we don't see anything yet. Okay, he did say he thanks the fighters of the resistance front, describing them as Iran's best friends. He said regional countries should close U.S. bases and that Iran will take compensation from the enemy, end quote. Iran's new supreme leader. Here we go, guys. Less than a minute here until the opening bell. Less than a minute. Hey, later, Teddy. Have a good day. Great. Have a great day. I hope you make some money today. Good luck. Not an investment professional, though, guys. And again, these links are affiliate links, of course. So the supreme leader called for unity among people. Bull or bear for the opening bell, guys. Let's get ready. Opening bell's in about 10 seconds. If it's late, hit the live button next to the play button. Put it at 2x speed. You'll catch up to the stream. And here's the opening bell, chat. Bear. All right, guys. There's the opening bell. Let's see who wins, bears or bulls. A little bit of green at the open here. A little bit of green. We got to watch the oil swings. Look at oil just sitting flat right now, but the NASDAQ pushed all the way to 24,810s and then fell back down some here. Nvidia is now falling pretty steep at the opening bell. It's at 183s. Alphabet's pushing up, though. So we're kind of flat in the NASDAQ because we got big weighted stocks going opposite directions. Nvidia down. Alphabet up. Google at 308 is almost green on the day. Nvidia's falling down to 183.60s. So let's see who wins. But Palantir does have an event today at 10 o'clock in 30 minutes. Look at Palantir. It's up to 150s ahead of this event at 154.60s for Palantir right now. So Palantir's pushing. And the NASDAQ is kind of stagnating here. I have to wait 4 or 5 minutes to trade. Alphabet's trying to go green on the day, though. We're still watching oil as well here. Look at oil. Oil at 94.20s here. 94.20s for oil. Stick around. We will be trading today. We just gotta wait and let some of this opening volatility fade out some here. Yields are up to almost 4.25%. Is this right? Yeah, they were close. All right, NASDAQ's starting to dip now. Let's see if oil starts to surge. All right, so yeah, the imbalance. The Iran leader said, we'll seek compensation from enemies or destroy their assets accordingly, and that the resistance front is an inseparable part of the revolution. Said regional countries should close United States bases. NASDAQ down some here, 24,740s at the opening bell. Okay, guys, we are 2.5 minutes into the day so far. 2.5 minutes. I'm pretty sure you can. They might be restricted from volatility, Fred, but I think you can. I mean, Lucid is futures, so you can trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities, stuff like that. Like, it's futures. NASDAQ up to 24,780s here, 24,780s. All right, we're trying to head back up. Kind of choppy here. I'm watching for the opening range breakout, though, just to clarify. I am watching for the orb. That's something I've been trading a lot lately, is the opening range breakout. If I put up, like, the QQQ, which is what I use, the QQQ is the NASDAQ. I could also put up the SPY and get a very similar thing here, I think. But here's the orb script that I have. And just to back test this a little bit, like, I like a 10-minute orb. But it's not perfect. Let's see. Get a 10-minute orb and see what that looks like. There we go. So I like the 10-minute orb. Look at this. It was a fake out. Choppiness. I think the market trends more than it's choppy. Look, that one worked right there. That one worked. That one worked. That one worked. This one worked and then dipped back down. But you can see the orb breakout here. Like, look, if you have it, you got to be careful for fake outs. I think the retest is a little bit better. But we're watching for the opening range breakout here. And so the opening range starts right here is what we're looking at. Here's a push. We might be pushing over the opening range right now. Still too close, though. We're only 4 minutes into the day. But the NASDAQ's pushing higher and oil is dipping down as we speak here. If I do trade right now, it's going to be like scalps. The Supreme Leader said other fronts will be activated if the conflict persists. Studies have been made of opening other fronts. Again, other fronts will be activated if the war persists. Look at that range that we had earlier here. Here's that 25 level we talked about. And look at that dip under 25. We had a nice pullback. I should have shorted. I was talking about if we break under 25, I'm bearish. I should have taken that. And then now that 25 area is kind of acting as a resistance here. So I got to wait. We still have a range at the open. We're only 5 minutes in the day. So I just got to hang out here and wait, guys. I started with 3K a few weeks ago. Now I'm over 21. Following news. Hey, nice. Congrats. I'm using the same broker as me. The 1 hour orb. Yeah, that makes sense. Don't copy me, though. I'm not an investment professional. Half the time, I have no idea what I'm talking about. 50% of the time, I'm wrong every time, guys. All right, we're testing that 825 level. This is kind of the line in the sand I have here. You think all nights are going to be bearish? This stuff happens overnight. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Looks bullish. All right, guys, we're about 7 minutes into the day here. I gotta wait for something to happen on this front. Yeah, so they basically said studies have been conducted regarding the opening of additional fronts in areas where the enemy has negligible experience and would be highly vulnerable, and their activation will be carried out if the state of conflict persists in accordance with the observance of interests. End quote. U.S. Supreme or Iran Supreme Leader. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, we're up since the opening bell here. And it looks bullish, but I gotta wait for a deeper range to break technically before I try to attack this. The 200 exponential also, if we look at this here, is pretty close to where we're at now. And so we might be running into all this resistance up here that I just kind of have to sit tight and wait for, I think. Um, I only follow your advice 50% of the time. Well, the thing about advice is I don't give it out here. I don't even know what advice is. I certainly don't give out financial advice. Not an investment professional here, guys. Top 3 least financial advice givers in the world right now. We have about a minute and a half left until 9:40. But over the last 5 minutes, we've honestly been pretty choppy. Oil dipping a little bit, but not a lot. And markets pushed up slightly since the bell. And now we are getting closer to that 200 exponential moving average here. All right, I'm going to jump in short, maybe getting a little greedy here at the 200 EMA. So far, it's worked. If we get a larger breakdown, I will short into this, but... Okay. Okay. I'm going to take half off immediately here. Get a little greedy. I'm going to cut it right there. We got a beautiful rejection. 200 exponential moving average right here. We just broke down so much so fast. You know. I got to take profit, I think. Still looking for additional quotes. He said, Iran won't forego vengeance. Jobless claims data was slightly lower, like by 1 or 2,000 lower than expected. I think it was expected at 214 or 215. It showed up at 213,000. They revised the last week's up 1,000 though. Overall, pretty flat. Slight revisions on the upside last time, but basically flat jobs data today. Nasdaq still chopping here around the 200 exponential. So you just made $50? Yeah, in about, what, 10 seconds, 15 seconds? I'm waiting here. I don't really have a lot of trades to get involved with right now. Could have held the short longer, but like I said, until we get like an opening range breakout here, I'm probably going to scalp small moves. Like, look at these swings up and down here. Like, look at these swings up and down. We hit the 200 exponential. We drop all the way down to 780, and then look at this candle wick right here. So, I don't think the price action is easy to trade right now. I'm staying very slow and careful with my trading today. Plus the Iran leader is still speaking right now, and so he could say things that push markets up and push markets down and push oil higher and up, and so because of that, just be careful today, guys. Just be careful. We got an opening range though that we could attack here 10 minutes into the day. Here's the orb, if you look at it. I just made 500,000. Yeah, bro. Well, I'm 7 feet tall and I'm a billionaire, dude. So, and I just made 5 billion, dude. You know. Y'all would never see me again if that was true. Fortunately for you guys, it's not true. Unfortunately for me. A chopped orb is actually a good orb, I would say. Right? Like, you want choppiness for an opening range breakout. Like, you want sideways action, because then it gives you a clean chop to break out of, you know, either direction. And so you kind of want one. Yeah, we still got this opening range. We could look for the 15-minute one and take some positions, though. We'll see. Yeah, I'll make you guys a deal. If I'm ever a billionaire, you know, I'll give everybody in chat $1 out of the kindness of my heart. You know, that's my deal for you guys. If I'm ever a billionaire in dollars, which by my projections will happen by the end of next week. Anyways, NASDAQ down at 24/7s. Very flat. Oil's basically flat since the opening bell. Alphabet's giving back some of the gains it made earlier. Nvidia's testing the lows of the open here. And oil around highs, but kind of stagnating since the opening bell. I knew the dollar one would bother some people in the chat, you know. I knew that would upset people. Okay, $2. All right. Yeah, I'm sitting tight here waiting. Alright guys, I'm still looking for quotes here. But we're not really seeing anything yet. NASDAQ's starting to flush down here though. Yeah, sorry Pawn, I don't have Discord up today, friend. Okay, thank you, dude. Yeah. Sloppy day. It's just sideways here, guys. We had more volatility in pre-market than we have since the opening bell. We're still 15 minutes, you know, since the open right now. So time is here, but really ideally, here's the opening range. The opening range is right here. I need a break on the downside and then a retest of it. So I need like a dip and then preferably like a bounce to here that I can short into and see if we get some continued chop like that or a continued breakdown from it. But we just cracked the lows of the opening range. It's still too early to get in yet, but we will see what we get here. Let's see. So here the orb just broke. I need the retest. Yeah, look at that drop here. I need like a big retracement up to like here, 50. We get a 50 retracement, maybe a 60 retracement, I'll short it, but I need a retest of it. If we don't get a retest, I'll just attack like a bounce that we should get eventually. Look at this slap down though in the NASDAQ. The orb broke here, just to put this into perspective. Here's the orb. So it did break. Oracle? Is Oracle down? I never took profit after its earnings. Maybe I should have. Oh no, Oracle's up. Okay. You had me nervous. Usually if I'm in something and somebody's like, hey John, you better look at this, start to panic. But Oracle's up. It's at 165s today. Alright, I never got the retracement here, guys. We're gonna still look for 50. I want 50. I have to wait. I think it's too greedy to jump in now. I just missed a trade. I was negotiating a $2 deal with John. Important deals going through today. These are important. All right. Bitcoin all the way down under 70,000. So Bitcoin just flushed under 70K. NASDAQ isn't stopping here though. We have a level right here at 700s. We just tapped it. How could it do this to me, guys? I don't know whose fault it is. I missed this breakdown. I blame the chat. I blame the chat. I need a sad song right now because I'm missing this move. I was waiting for it. I wanted the orb. I missed it. I blame you guys. I blame you guys here today. Although we did get a bounce back. Do I short into this bounce? I think so. Is it greedy? Yes. But I think if we scale in up to 6 contracts and look for a rejection here, we got a shot. All right, there we go. Definitely greedy here. Music's fitting right now, too. I still believe in the trade, though. Let's see if we get it. I'm going to take half of my profit off there, dude. Now we just have 3 contracts, which is, you know, not the worst. Yeah, today we have the Palantir conference. Oh my gosh, dude, I didn't even look at this. We are up too much. Okay, now we got to cover it. You don't love to see it, guys. You don't love to see it. I might cry. I might cry, honestly. You know? I really genuinely might have to change the music pretty soon here, though. I can't handle this music. It's too sad. Too sad. I don't like sad music, you know? We did get into another trade. I greedily attacked this, guys. I'm sorry I didn't show it to you, but we actually made quite a lot from this. Now we're in 4 left. I think I'm just going to short into this deeper here, though. I like this rejection here. Let's see if it happens. Let me make sure no breaking news is going on. EU is considering more state aid and emergency energy price plan. Okay. Come on, break down some more here. This is the spot for it, too. There we go. There we go. So we got back to green on the day. Now we're actually net. Look at this. There you go. Let me take 1 off here. All right, we'll just take the rest off. Okay, so we caught the breakdown. We were a little greedy. But greed is good sometimes, I think. Don't spill the coffee. Greed, for lack of a better word, is good today for John at Beginner Trading. Some of you guys understood that joke. I'm not saying greed is actually good. Some people get it. This guy gets it right here. The cat. He gets it. Kaiser gets it too. Hey. My olive trees are starting to show flower buds. I should have held here, guys. I should have held. When you make $300 or $400 on a trade, though, I think it's reasonable to exit like immediately too. It happened fast as well. But man. Long blue star. My guy, you know. You know. NASDAQ coming down. We're at 24,680s here, guys. 24,680s. Alphabet just cracked lows. Nvidia just cracked lows of the day, or it's getting close to. Nvidia's getting close to cracking lows here, but the NASDAQ rejected right here off the top of the, or right off the bottom of the opening range. Again, the orb, guys, is what I'm saying. The orb. Bitcoin under 70,000 right now. But look at the orb breakout, just to show you guys the actual chart that I was looking at here. Here's the script. Here's the orb. Look at the rejection of it and the hold right here. So. Can you teach us how to do day trades with options? Do you buy? Yes. Not investment advice. Sorry, brother. The options market, you're way too vague. The options market is, I could be buying puts. I could be buying calls. It's way too complex to just say buy or sell options. Doesn't really make much sense, friend. Options super complex, super nuanced. A lot of, you got to understand the Greeks. You got to understand a lot of different things with options. So recession risks are popping as oil surges. Kalshi now sees traders pricing in a 31% chance of a U.S. recession this year, up 11 points amid the volatility in oil. Whales just doubled down. Yeah, we have no more economic data today. Remember, tomorrow, though, we have PCE inflation. We have GDP data, Q4, first revision GDP data. NASDAQ just cracked lows. Oil now at $95 a barrel for WTI crude, getting ready to break the highs of the day if it continues. I think the highs of the day are technically... Or no, the highs of the day here are right at 95. So this is the high of the day right here. On oil, 95.20s or so is the high of the day. NASDAQ still flushing down at 24,640s. Oil market fundamentals are different right now. Yeah. Yeah, Jep, I run into the same problem. He said, my hands are weak when I'm in profits, but not when I'm in losses. I think that's every trader. I think that's just psychology. When you're in profit and you see green, you're like, ooh, let me take this profit. When you're in red, you're like, I can let it roll a little bit longer. What's the worst that could happen? A lot of things are the worst that could happen. Worse than that, really. Nvidia still falling. Oil tapped the highs of the day. It's down to 95 or 94.70. It should be the opposite though, Jep. Just to put this into perspective, it should be like you cut losses quick, you hold winners long. Let winners run, cut losses fast is the big quote that traders will give you. Easiest way to do it is to give yourself a risk level prior to entering the trade and a reward target, and then just stick to it. So you give yourself a risk, you get into a trade, you identify the risk, just to give you like an easy example here. If I get in a short and I say, hey, my risk is 675 right here. I'm just using big, like kind of random levels here. 675 is, if that's my risk. And then I say my reward target is 600 here. Then in this situation, my risk is only this, right? My reward target is this. And so small risk here. This area is like a small risk. A much larger reward target here is the strategy. And you stick to it, right? You stick to it. Like, that's the easiest way to do it. Identify your reward and risk levels prior to entering the trade, and then you just stick to whatever that is. Not telling you to do it, not investment advice. I don't know if that trade's even good. But just giving you guys some examples of how to combat that, really. But if you do that with every trade, it'll be easier to follow, if that makes sense. Like, if you set a rule and you know, I always describe it as like Pavlov. It's like Pavlov in the dogs. You condition yourself through repetition. You do it enough. Every time you get into a trade, if you do that beforehand, eventually it'll become second nature. You won't have to think about it as much. You'll just naturally do it. You do it over and over and over again. It becomes a lot easier to do. You're conditioned to do it, if that makes sense. NASDAQ up to 24.6s here. Okay, so a lot of people are worried about recession risks right now. Citi raises oil forecasts amid this conflict. UK government is taking the precautionary measure to temporarily withdraw some of its staff from Iraq. According to a poll, strong majority of economists, 29 of 37, said it was more likely the Fed hold rates longer than expected after the Iran conflict. And yeah. Recession risks rise. Kalshi now prices in 31% chance of a recession this year in 2026. NASDAQ's bouncing higher here. Here's 24/7 that I'm looking at right now, though. Okay, we get up to 24/7. I might short this again. Close. All right, so we're close. All right, so we're popping up a little bit here. Let's see if we hold back down or what. We are starting to rebound here. We're over 24/7s. All right, so we are popping up pretty big here now. See if we flush back down or keep higher. NASDAQ's starting to rip here. Let's see if we pull back to 24/7s and then what happens. See how long this conflict lasts. But oil price is already up a lot. Kind of chopping back and forth here. I'm waiting, but we are kind of chopping back and forth now. We went down a lot. It's now 10:03 here in markets. We did get a nice orb, though. Gotta switch to a challenge account on Lucid here. I have to see what the consistency rule is on Lucid, but I can show you guys this. I'm shorting this. Let me see what this is. Our target is 1250. There's no consistency rule though, which I like. Max loss is 20,000. But we're starting honestly pushing up too much. So, but we'll risk it. I mean, we have this account. We'll give it a second here. If we break down now. There we go. We're green. Trying to go green. Let's see if we flush down some more. There we go. Take some off here. Protect. Equities look like they want to flush here, but there we go. We might add on a bounce. And we added on the bounce. There we go. We're gonna cover into this drop. Another drop. We have like 3 left. We'll just sit on this and see if we continue to flush. Hold the rest break even roughly. Palantir has a conference going on right now, is what this is for Palantir. Nice. We're gonna add on this retracement. Try to get ourselves in a good situation to pass this one. There we go. I'm gonna cover some of this here. Yeah, we'll get out the rest there on the pop. So we made money for sure on the trade, but with that said, I'm probably gonna cut out of here, you guys. Remember, tomorrow we have GDP data and PCE inflation data tomorrow. So again, tomorrow we have GDP and PCE inflation. I've lost one of those direct Lucid accounts already though, so you don't love to see it, but I think that's how it goes. I like to build up a big cushion first anyway. And so 230, build up a big cushion, I think makes sense. If you want to check out Lucid, great way to help support the channel. There's no PDT rule. You day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, Gold, commodities. They have a direct funded option. If you use my coupon code, it's like 238 for the base one. So it's a pretty good deal, honestly. But again, I'm biased because I get paid by them. Great way to learn though, great way to learn. If you want to check them out, I'll put the link up one more time. If you have Apex, you could use promo code BT. If you have Lucid, you can use promo code BT. If you have Take Profit, you can use promo code BG. Since BT was taking BG. You can also use that on Tradeify, BG on Tradeify. So, but Lucid, main one I'm using right now, BT is the promo code BT, beginner trading. There's the link in chat. I appreciate the love, guys. Tomorrow we got big data coming out. PCE inflation, GDP data Q4, and this is after the last GDP data we saw. Big weakness in the last one. Big weakness in the last one. So, yeah, we'll see what we get there. Yeah, so the Apex, if you have Apex, the 85 and 90% were extended as well. So you can still get 85 or 90% with Apex if you want to help support the channel there as well. BT. Coupon code on Apex BT. Sorry, I'm trying to schedule my next stream here, so I'm going to sit here quietly, watch the market for a second, and then we're going to shut it down. All right, guys. So again, PCE inflation, GDP tomorrow. Forgive me here. I am kind of cutting out of some of this. All right, guys. So I will see you guys tomorrow for the big GDP data, PCE data release. I'll see you guys then. Y'all be safe. Forgive me. I'm trying to find yeah, thumbnail I'm trying to use here. Hold on. There we go. That was good. All right. I got it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Be here 8:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Now for the 5th time, I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Have a great day. Yeah, join our Discord. Before we leave, join our Discord. Completely free. You can reach out to me there if you want to hang out, talk, chat, all that good stuff. Discord, Pawn just posted it in chat, or Nightbot just posted it. So check it out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm sorry. I don't know why this guy's rapping. I'm ending the stream anyway. Here, I gotta turn this music off. I'm trying to make sure the redirect's about to work here. Hold on. Yeah. All right, guys. Y'all be good. Have a great day.